What up, peeps? Happy Father's Day. Happy Father's Day to all you daddies out there. And even you moms out there who've been fathers. So happy Mother's Day, all of that stuff. So we're going to come at you today. As you can see that we're just here doing what we do on Sundays. And going to share some things with you about, do new dads go through postpartum just like women do when they have babies? We're going to talk a little bit about that. Once again, disclaimer here, we're not doctors. We just know from reading and sharing what we hear and the medical advice on things. And so that's what we're going to do today. As always, we're going to tell you guys to welcome you. We want to make sure that you please, sign, subscribe, comment, all those good things to help us to keep moving up. But we're going to be here either way. So what's happening with you, Mike? Happy Father's Day.
Hey, thank you, my brother. Thank you. I
Yeah,
appreciate that. Just want to wish everybody out there, all the dads, that's like you said, some moms out there got to take that role on. Happy Father's Day. Everything's going good out here, man. The weather's getting warmer. It's closer to, summertime coming up, or as it is right now. So, man, just enjoying the weather, man. I'm getting outside, doing a little bit more workouts outside. And I'm showing that when you our age, we can still go outside, do some things, man, to be a little creative. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely. It's raining here, though. It's crazy rain.
Oh, man.
Yeah, it's been like this for the last 3 days.
Okay. Is that humid rain, or is it just hot?
No, it's just pouring rain,
it's
like
pouring
storms.
Down. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. In my little hometown on Thursday, they had a tornado touchdown and took down some of the people's houses and stuff. Man,
that's crazy.
Yeah, it's
crazy.
These unannounced storms coming throughout the world, in a sense, when you see it on the news, man. It's just unexpected. Unexpected.
Like you said, we're here, man. We're going to talk about a few things today, man. We just wanted to come back out here and like Rob said, we're going to be here anyway, no matter what. But we hopefully we can share some information with you and share some our experiences as well.
Yeah.
You want to talk about women go through it and have babies, and after they have their children, they go through postpartum. Do men go through postpartum as well?
Absolutely. I was reading an article where it stated that 8 to 10% of men actually go through the same postpartum, except ours is that not the crying and stuff like that. It's more of the anger and just upset about things all the time and not knowing why. How we are as men, we don't want to show that emotional side. And so instead of crying it out or talking to our wives or their girlfriends, whomever it may be, it shows that we have a tendency to be withdrawn, a lot of crying and non-crying, but anger and things that are shared because they don't know how to deal with the new baby coming into town. I can only tell you that in my experience is that, when the baby's coming to town, it's like everything else. Your life becomes totally focused on that. And you deal with the crying, you deal with colicky moments, you deal with all of those things. So I don't even, when you say mentally prepare yourself for it, is that most men, I would say, since it's such a low percentage, clearly don't understand that you're going to be dealing with some things, but you don't even know why. And it's just as the wife or the girlfriend dealing with postpartum and crying and don't want the baby, all those different things that come along with it.
It's totally, like you said, it's totally new. It's something different.
Yeah.
It changes your schedule. It changes how, it changes how you live. It changes, like you said, it's a brand new focus on life because that's a new life.
Yeah, and, absolutely.
Some men don't, like you said, they don't realize they're going through something. They can't figure it out. Like you said, they can't figure out, why am I being so withdrawn? Why am I angry? Why am I mad? Why? Sometimes, they look at it as if their spouse's fault sometimes or something.
Absolutely. And you know how we are, man. We have a tendency to process instead of speaking out and sharing our feelings and emotions and stuff like that. So sometimes the processing, you never break through the process phase. You just stay internal and being distant from the wife when she needs you the most, especially, that whatever 1, 2, 3 days into the world, and then that 4, 5, 6 months where they start crying a lot. Yeah. And then you're there with the walking around 8, 9, 10, so it's all those things come into place. And, mama already have just as many things on her books as you do. but you know how it is that mother internal side want her to focus more on that baby. So guys get upset about that and want to know why things are not like they were before the baby, and they start
Right.
dealing with those things. So it's just an awareness, guys. So if you find yourself uh, and you're listening to this and you find yourself that you may have experienced some of that, I would say go talk to someone, talk to a professional, and at least let them know how you're feeling. But I would still share it with the wife that you, if you've been acting different, that you wasn't even aware of it, so she'll know you're still there and got her back.
Yeah.
But it's definitely,
Exactly. Like you said, even
yeah,
talk to your spouse or your significant other and ask them, say, hey,
yeah,
I'm feeling different. Am I acting different?
yeah,
And don't be sensitive to the nature when somebody tells you, like, yeah, you're seem like you're angry at me. You're
yeah,
mad because the baby's here. Maybe because you're not getting the same attention that you're getting and gaining before prior to
yeah,
the baby and
yeah,
everything. So yeah. I
yeah.
can
So
definitely understand that, and I've seen it as well. I've had a couple of buddies. They said, "Hey, man, I got a couple of young guys now, man. They say, hey, Mike, man, got the baby now, man, and I'm up all night because my wife now she's going back to work too. I got to put
yeah,
in that time, and I can't be in the gym or the hoopers or whatever, and they're not doing that. They're it's like, man, I'm mad. They seem like they're projecting all their anger towards their spouse or their significant other
sure,
and the baby.
yeah,
And it's like, like you said, I'm not a professional, but what I tell them, I say, hey man, you gotta understand you got another life there. You got to focus on that.
yeah,
And then you got to change your priorities as a man and as a person and as a family person.
yeah,
So, and you got to look at
yeah,
those things, and just talking to them, we're older, we have experience. We both got children, had children, and they're older now, but we went through some similar things too. And when you co-parent and try to do it the right way, um, those feelings may be there, but you're working together to try to you
sure,
know
sure.
make each party feel better about themselves and helpful.
Yeah, and I also just believe that when new parents come into the world, I didn't do it, so I can tell you that is that where you sit down and you talk about the up and coming events. Not that, oh, I'm going to be a daddy, oh, I'm going to be a mother,
Mhm.
but if you don't actually sit down and talk about how this is going to affect us, how we're going to go about,
Mhm.
making sure things run smoothly, even if you go back and talk about and live on your own childhood, how did you react to your parents and how things went down. If those discussions are never had, I would say have them, because you know bad things happen. When you don't have that communication
Exactly.
and the kids come into the
Exactly.
world. Yeah, yeah. And what I mean by bad, I mean separation, arguments, distance, pointing the finger, just nothing but blame, and not realizing that little one was you guys' choice, and so
Exactly.
decisions to
Exactly.
be made.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's not, and
absolutely.
it's definitely not the baby's fault. You brought a
Yeah,
new person into the world. So now I just got to
yeah,
figure it out. Just got to figure it
yeah,
out, and get through it.
yeah,
Like a lot of alienation, what I'm saying,
yeah,
that happens as well too.
yeah,
So,
absolutely.
like Rob said, like you said, focus on it, talk about it. A lot of parents don't. All of a sudden, next thing you know, here's a baby. What do we do? And now we're like this because
Yeah,
hey, that person's style of raising a child is totally different than this person's style of raising a child.
yeah,
And not only are you going through your emotions and feelings, now you're feeling resentment because you're feeling that hey, this person's taking over with the way they're raising the baby or the child or whatever. You got
yeah,
to communicate. It's always communication.
yeah.
Communication.
And that unbroken contract with the kids, you can't take that contract back. You may can get out of a marriage, but you can't get out of the contract with that kid. that kid
Yeah,
that kid is there for 18 years, and you got to be proud of that, whether you're with mom or not with mom, or with dad or not with
exactly.
dad. But the bottom line is that that contract is there forever, and it's one of those things, man, that it's definitely things that you need to like think about, and before you even walk down that aisle, and make sure that that's what you want to do. But as far as kids are concerned, and that way it's mutual, and then everybody can kind of move forward. But I share with you just from experience. It can be a real new shocker. Even though you're proud and you're happy, you still can deal with different stress things that could cause problems.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And it takes time and
Yeah.
patience. With
Yeah.
that, Rob, I got something. I want to kind of maybe change topics real
Change
quick.
gears. Yeah. Go ahead.
I've had, man, some people, and I want to get your expertise and your feeling on this and see how you think on this. I've had some people, man, and even some of my clients have struggled with their meals, their meal planning after probably the first, the honeymoon phase. And what I get from them, they may say, hey, the reason why I'm not making my goals now is because it's tough for me making the meals because of my family. And I'm like,
Right.
what do you mean? And they said, well, everybody eats different, and I got to feed everybody differently. And before, I was in that honeymoon phase where I'm just doing it my stuff, but now I'm struggling because I don't have the time to make all these separate meals. So I'm the one that's suffering because they don't want to eat what I eat.
Right.
So
Well,
what do you?
I think what I tell all my peeps is this. I said, look, here's the deal. At some point, your family members are going to either jump on board of what you're doing or not. But several times, most of the times, they will jump on board because they see your foods are prepped. It's in the fridge the whole time, and they want to go and grab your foods because it's there. Well, if they're grabbing your foods and eating your foods, that is your key of going, okay, guys, since you're eating my foods, I am going to cook these foods and not have a whole bunch of different meals going on. And and I think that people in general love to follow. And if they see that you're doing something on a healthy, balanced way, and they see your change, they see all those things, they're gonna adapt to what you're doing. That's how we are. Yeah, you're gonna have someone in the family says, "Well, I don't want to do that." Well, on that side, I tell all my clients just prep meals. When you prep meals, you can have two pots and pans going at the same time. If you're the only cook in the house, that just or teach the kids to get involved and say, okay, I'm gonna be making this and you're gonna be making that, and we're all gonna work together because mom or dad, I'm trying to get my physical fitness going on, and if you guys are eating my food, you're gonna disrupt my chain of command. But I actually have a client who has mentioned that to me just here lately. It was like, what should she do? I go, well, just put all of your containers on one side of the fridge and all of their containers on the other side of the fridge, and say, don't go into these containers. And then that way, if that continues, then you already know I can stop making all these extra foods and just go into one set. So I think that's the best way to go about it. Because if you fight about it and you say, don't eat my foods, don't eat my foods, what do? We eat your foods.
Foods, yeah. Yeah. And also, I'm kind of from the old school as well. You kind of hit on it too. When I was making my food, everybody ate what I ate. Unless I was getting ready for a competition, then it was more stricter. Then I was like, no. But if I look at it like this, you want a healthier household, and I think we're getting away from that as parents, because when we came up, it wasn't a whole bunch of oversized kids when we came up, because either we were outside and we had PE every day from grade school all the way to 12th grade. We had some form of exercise. Right. So you might have found some husky kids, but you didn't find a lot of obese kids like they are now with a lot of health problems when we were coming up. And I think parents need to go back to that, because I see parents. I've seen this. I talked to this one lady the other day. I saw her. She worked out, man. You could tell her she's dieting. She's eating right. She's on a fitness lifestyle, but she's in 7-Eleven giving her kid that's obese candy and them to satisfy them. Yeah. And then I hit her up, later on, just kind of talk to her, and she said, well, they don't want to eat the food that I eat. But I'm like, but you see your kids are unhealthy. And she says, I know, but in order for them to stop crying. I'm like, well, as a parent, that's when we gotta, we gotta do the right thing.
Sure.
And now I see her bringing the kids to the gym with her, like you said, make it something that's enjoyable for both of you guys, because she has them do some other little stuff while she's there and everything, because the kid's old enough to join the gym and do some stuff. So she said when he did that, his eating habits are changing and he's losing weight and stuff. But you'll see that from time to time. And I think sometimes we need to go back to old school parenting, because we let our kids, because it's that technology age, we let them get away with a little bit more than we did, and we don't have them doing the physical things that they need to do. So later on in life, because you got to remember, they're the ones that's going to pay later on in life.
Yeah.
So when we're talking about meals and stuff, if you're on a fitness lifestyle, try to involve them with you, meals or even walking or having them do some type of activity.
Yeah. And I would say the first thing about that though, Mike, is I would say you need to explain to them why you're doing it. You know what I mean? Because if you say, oh, you need to eat this because it's going to make you feel better, well, they're not going to understand that
exactly.
anyways.
Right.
And when we grew up, and I'm sure you can testify to this, is that you ate what was on the table.
Yeah.
And if you didn't, as my dad would say, when your stomach started reaching back to your rib cage, you will eat something, right? And so that's usually that's what things have changed now. I mean, the rules and regulations of raising kids these days is 100% different than our rules and regulations. I mean, they can call cops on their parents if they don't get the right meals, if they're mad at them, and all of the stupid things. No, man. So, with parents who are right now who are having these kids who are fast food eaters, and I do have clients like that, and I share with them how important it is with that the same meal plan that I use with my clients, that you can share with your kids, meaning that if you're eating 80% of nutritional foods and 20% of something that's not nutritional, like a burger, like ice cream, whatever the case may be, then I think if you put that on the table with your kids, like, hey, look, this is how we're going to do this. We're going to have this and we're going to have that. And then I think that'd be more apt to make a change. But if you just put it on the table and go, you're going to eat these vegetables along with this.
Right. I agree.
No, I'm
totally
not going to do that. And then due to the fact that we as parents are always going to have some type of guilt trip for the kids crying and not wanting to eat what you got. So you go, okay. And you end up just giving them something just to go for it. So I just think explanation and telling them why we're eating these foods and how it's going to have you grow and how you're going to be this big, strong boy or girl or whatever the kid may be, and then kind of create some teamwork instead of just going, you will.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Exactly. I agree with you.
Yeah.
I just want to kind of touch on that because I've had a few clients, and like I said, you just like you said, you have the same thing. So
yeah, man, it happens.
For people out there that's listening in, man, that tap in on that.
Yeah, for sure. And other than that, man, life in general, brother, what do you think's happening with our world with all this protesting?
Man, that's a lot of different.
Especially in your city, yo.
Man, down, man, in SoCal, man, was something else last week.
Yeah.
Man, I'm always for protesting peacefully and everything. But sometimes, man, you always have some bad eggs in there, man, doing stuff the wrong way. I think some messages have been sent both ways, man. And hopefully, man, my hope is I don't try to get real political and say that I have my own opinion and everything. And that's what that's what politics are. It's on your own opinion. I don't live and die by it because, that's too much stress, when you do it like that. But if we didn't have protesting, man, a lot of things,
they'll just slide right on by. Just slide right on by.
Slide right on by. But sometimes we have to take a stance, but do it the right way. Do it the right way.
And I always think that when the people out there who when they're protesting, like you said, that's one of our rules of life that we should be able to do that. But I think being in law enforcement, I just think when people think that they need to be in the face of the cops and flipping them off, it's like, I didn't start this law. I wasn't part of any of that. I'm just here to kind of protect the
Right. I'm trying
area.
to, you know,
And they're so angry. The people are so angry that they're in the cop's face and and saying all these stupid things like that are reasonings for them. They'd rather be at home, sitting at home watching the game instead of standing out there watching people argue over
working
things
24
that
hours,
matter.
working double shifts. People don't see, a lot of people don't understand it because what people think, yeah, we have a percentage of law enforcement that's dirty. We know that. And they're thinking all the cops are dirty, and they're not. You know, you got people that's living right next door to you, man, that's right there that, they're good, honest, obeying, law-abiding citizens just like you, and they go in and they want to do their job. But when you're spitting on people and getting in their face, and they're just they're there because they're ordered to be there because that's their job. What you want them to do, quit their job and quit their job? That doesn't make sense because they're not asking you to quit your job. So, when you do it the right way, I think the right results come because they get some results out of this. And I think, it was a lot of, yesterday they had a lot of big protests yesterday as well. Big, and they're peaceful. So, I mean, protesting has been for ages. And if you don't protest and let things slide by, we wouldn't be where we're at right now.
Sure. And some positive stuff have already turned out from it. It's just that, human beings, man, we have a tendency to focus more on the negative than anything positive that came from it. And that's kind of where we are, man. But this other dude that's out there killing these politicians. Man, what's going on, man? It's that, that's just crazy. And they're still looking for this dude
they're
too.
Still
man.
looking for him. They haven't found him yet. But there's so many things going on out there, man. What was that sheriff they were looking for too? They found him. It was another state, I think Arizona somewhere. This dude was like a high profile law enforcement dude, but he was like on the most wanted list or something. He escaped, and they just got him. They were like, this dude was that dangerous where they were like, man, people were staying in their houses, and just like they are, I think it's Minnesota, right, where that happened. And this guy had all kind of stuff in his car. They're still sorting it out, man. But I feel bad for anybody when you're gunned down that way, man. That's just, I don't care if you're Republican, Democrat, orange, blue, black, green, yellow. Nobody deserves that. Nobody deserves that. So we have to do better, people. We have to think. We still need to come together, and we need to come together in times of stuff like this, man. Because those people that was totally unexpected. Two of the politicians got killed, right? And I think I don't know,
2 was killed,
and 2 are in the hospital. So
they're in the hospital right now. But this guy, I don't think was this guy. He wasn't law enforcement, was he? He was just dressed like
like law enforcement. He was impersonating, but they're not giving a whole bunch of details about it because they're trying to still trying to apprehend him. So they're still keeping a lot of details about him close to the vest because they're trying to. I guess must be a pretty smart dude, man, because he's a
military, ex-military guy for sure.
Yeah. So they can't get him. They can't find him. So they tell people lock your doors, man, because they don't. This dude had a manifesto of stuff that he wants to carry out. So
yeah. So man, it's a world of constant chaos, and just got to make sure you keep yourself on the right side of the tracks, because next thing you know, you're in a place that you shouldn't be at the wrong time, and it gets ugly. Yeah, that's it for sure. That's it.
Well, right before we go, Rob, man, tell them, man, you have something new going on. Somebody sponsoring you now, and
oh yeah. Thanks for bringing that up. No, I am proud sponsored by the Legion Athletics supplement company. It's such a great opportunity for at least people who are trying to get the right products and not sure what to get, that I've kind of put myself out there by saying, if you want to get certain things and you're not sure what to get, instead of just going online and buying stuff and trying it, just reach out to me and tell me what your goals are, and then I will be able to kind of give you some insight. I do have a discount code. I do have a referral code. and all those codes will also give you an opportunity to buy one product, get the next one 50% off, which is a really cool deal. But the other good side of this is that they are allowing anything you purchase, you get 20% kind of put in a storage unit for you, a bank account, however you want to look at it. And when you decide that you want more product, just keep on storing up points, and then you can get free product. Not many people give you free product over a period of time. So I thought it was a great opportunity for me to become part of this and be able to let people have an opportunity to go out and get the right supplements. And of course, I only share stuff that I'm going to use myself anyway. So I'm in the process of using it. If you go to my Instagram, which is Robert Johnson Training, that's where I've got most of my stuff there because that's what they wanted me to advertise most on. But my bio is on both the Legend Robert Johnson. They're also, and you can go into the bio and pull it up and then actually take advantage of it and just use my code and get that extra. But it's good stuff. It's real clean stuff for sure.
There you go.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah, man. But other than that, Mike, I'm gonna let you say goodbye to everybody and tell everybody to be safe wherever they're protesting at. And we'll come back here next weekend and see how things have changed in the world.
Exactly. Just want to reach out, let everybody know I got shirts coming out. So go to my IG. It's Big Darkness 59 on Instagram and House of Darkness Fitness on Instagram, and on TikTok it's Big Darkness 59. And check out those shirts, order them, and they'll be coming to you as soon as I get them done. Also, just want to tell you guys, start your fitness program tomorrow. If you haven't started a fitness program, even if it's walking, so when we see you next week, you'll have at least 5 days in. Starting out and have at least 5 days in. Just start walking. Just say, hey, I'm gonna walk a mile a day, and then just add as you go. But we got to stay healthier. We need a healthier nation. We need healthier people. We need healthier fathers. We need healthier fathers. Father's Day, so we need healthier fathers. With that being said, man, that's about it, Rob. We'll see them next week?
Yeah, man. So you guys go down there and subscribe. Please subscribe, comment, let us know what you think. And Mike just put out a 5-day challenge, sounds like to me. So if anybody go onto our link and decide that they're going to subscribe and say, I did 1 mile today, for every 1 mile you do, then we'll be sending you a free menu plan. How's that? Help you reach those goals.
Sounds good to me.
Boom. All right. Well, then we're going to say goodbye to you guys. We'll see you on Sunday. And you guys have a nice week. Make sure you keep your feet one step ahead of the next one. Moving forward. Do not go backwards. That's for sure.
All right.
Yeah, man. All right, people. Peace out. See you next week.
All right.
Later.